you guys started. You guys kind of sputtered a little bit. In particular, I mean, you guys went down the field, scored quickly the first time, but you guys kind of sputtered the rest of the first half. What was going on? Was it were you guys just kind of out of sync, or?
So, I mean, we just came back from that bye week. Honestly, it was the first game for us, but we also center got injured, so we kind of had to scramble to figure out which backup's going to play center, and we had to scramble to figure out which line was going to play any position. And it kind of put us all out of whack, and we were all kind of just hectic. And so it just made it tough for us that second quarter. And then going into the second half, we recalibrated, we all talked, figured out who was going to play where, and then we got it all together.
And what happened to I don't have the roster in front of me. 62. What happened there? Did he something happen to his knee or something on that play when you guys were in the red zone there?
Was that the end of the game?
Yes.
I believe that was his ankle. I have no update on that. I'll have to text the team and figure out what's going on with him. But yeah, I believe it was his ankle.
Was that one of your? That was one of your guards, wasn't it?
That was our backup guard.
Oh yeah, because you already lost the other. Oh man, that's not good. We need to get. If it's just an ankle, I think you guys will be good to go for the next one.
Right.
And how does it feel to be one of the only two teams standing left in the East County? Because really, all the rest of the East County teams lost today.
Honestly, it feels great. I mean, like I said, a huge sigh of relief. The whole team was excited. They knew that this game was going to be the hardest game to win because it was our first game back from a bye week, so we knew we had to work hard. And beating these guys was honestly a sigh of relief. Now we got Orange Glen, and we heard that Escondido beat on Orange Glen, so that's also a sigh of relief. It just means that we have to work harder to ensure that we do our job and we come out with a win next week.
And that was kind of my that was my concern in the first half. I was like, okay, they ran down. They scored quickly, okay, and then next thing you know, Escondido, okay, we're going to return the favor. I was like, wait a minute, this is not typically what happens with Santana football, and not to mention, you know, the first thought in everybody's mind, I'm sure, was, wait a minute, well, West Hills even beat Escondido, and then we all know how that game turned out, and you got your cup back,
Right.
So I'm sure there had to be some things going through your minds of, wait a minute, what's going on here? We need to regroup and figure out, you know, like I said, recalibrate, as you mentioned. And then, now, did you have a different center starting today too? Is that what you're mentioning?
So our center was starting, and he went out with an injury, I believe, in the second quarter. And that's what got us scrambling, because now we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with our line. We're going to bump our left guard to center and put a backup in at left guard.
Okay, that's what. And then any time that you do that, I don't care what level you're at, that really that can really have an effect. I mean, because you got the snap count. You know, they got to get used to that. They got to get used to your cadence. And not that at the high school level, at least it's nothing crazy like like a Peyton Manning where he's waving and talking about all kinds of different states and and crazy stuff like that. At least you know you guys try to keep it pretty simple, and that's what I admire about Coach Estes. He keeps it simple, and I think that's the best way, really, to play a game, especially in the playoffs. I mean, you want to keep it simple, and I'm sure he keeps it simple as far as when he calls in the plays. You know, I hear some of these coaches, they're like, well, it's a G1 7 jet off the left, and it's like, come on, how about just a G1 jet? Boom, done, go, you know?
Right.
And then, how do you feel about I mean, all things considered, you know, the center and what happened towards the end of the game? Tell me about your line play.
So honestly, I think we're going to be okay. We're just going to have to figure out who's going to play where. we have decent depth in our line. They all work hard. They're all big. They're all strong. They all do well at blocking, guard, tackles. They'll play wherever you need them. So I think we're going to be okay. We just got to figure out what's going on with the injuries, how bad they are, and then we'll have to figure out where to put who. And yeah, I think we'll be okay.
And there was a couple of balls, and I'm not picking at any of at your receivers because you have fantastic receivers, but there were some of those balls that you threw out there that, I mean, they were right on the money, to be honest. I mean, from what my camera saw and what my phone saw, what everything saw, and I gotta say, I really can appreciate that you don't show the frustration on your face and you just get back to business and, hey, you know what? Let's huddle back up. Let's call the next play and let's forget about it, because there were a couple of drop balls that we were just like, wow, that's a touchdown. And I know that there was at least 2 or 3 of them. I remember one. I forget who your receiver was, but it was in the right corner towards the Escondido sideline. And I think you had the ball right there. But, things happen. But I'm sure that's got to be frustrating inside of, man, I had the ball right there. But then we can also rewind and go, wait a minute, but Nathan's human too, and sometimes maybe you threw it a little too long or a little short, and we see all kinds of different scenarios. But overall, I think once you guys regrouped, what was that conversation, if you remember just bits and pieces of it, in the locker room once, because it was pretty close. I mean, and I'm sure even you guys were probably like, what's going on? I mean, there had to be a pretty good, maybe a quick one, but there had to be a quick speech on, hey, what's going on and what adjustments do we need to make? Was there anything in particular you remember that Coach Estes was talking to you guys about?
Yeah, so we just talked about slowing down, focusing, because we're all hectic, we're all scrambling with all the injuries, we're trying to get ourselves together. And I think we were just going too fast. Some guys were missing things, making simple mistakes, not thinking. So we got in the locker room, we all talked, we're like, just breathe, let's recalibrate, let's get the group back together, let's get in our groove, and we'll be fine. And that's basically what Coach told us. He just said, hey, let's slow down a little bit. Let's start thinking more. We got who we got. We know who we're going to play where. We fixed up the line. We know what we're going to do. Now let's just think. Let's just take it slow, and we're going to be fine. And that was basically it.
And then would you? I mean, we might have touched on it at the beginning of the year when we were talking about many things at the beginning of camp. And I mean, as far as depth, you think you got some pretty good depth as well. Like, when the first string guy goes down. So far this year. I mean, you guys have been fortunate. Up until this game, really, you haven't lost, especially skill players. You've been fortunate to not lose too many skill players, and that's really vital, as you know, going into the next round.
I mean, absolutely. Actually, I don't think we've lost one skill player at all. They've all been healthy. They've all been working. And I know last year we lost a couple guys. We lost our safety. And that really killed us. And just having these guys healthy, having them working, is really helping us out in skill positions.
Well, you lost yourself last year too, so no pun.
Broken collarbone.
No pun intended on the you lost yourself, but but yeah, I've never experienced it myself, but I can't even imagine the initial pain, but. You must have a high pain threshold, because I remember you talking to us about that at the beginning of the season, that you continue to play and play through it. So
I played the rest of the game.
I mean,
I think I threw another touchdown.
It had to sting. I mean, it had to be some pain, some serious pain. Because when you're throwing the ball, you're using a lot of that shoulder. You're using your arm. I mean. I think people do forget, though, that if you're throwing the ball correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it does come from your torso, too, though. So, I mean, I guess if you're throwing the ball correctly, you're not putting as much pressure on that collarbone like you are on the torso. You do something around that area, and you're pretty much finished.
Yep.
But so we regrouped. We went out there and we scored, and we started to play some better defense too, because that was a thing too. And I know you noticed it.
Oh yeah.
I even saw some safeties out of place, some missed assignments, and I never like to call out names, but I just noticed one of the safeties was out of position, and I was like, oh man, that's not good. That definitely needs to be adjusted. I'm sure the coaches saw it right away on the iPad because it didn't happen again, but they're a pretty smart ball club, and when they saw an advantage, they took it. What were your thoughts on the team overall, and especially their quarterback? I mean, I'm not going to say he was Mr. Accuracy, but he seemed to be pretty athletic with his legs, and he has an arm.
I'm going to be honest. I got to give mad props to that quarterback. He ran that team today very well. I mean, he threw, he ran, he was doing everything. He was driving down the field. He took that team into his own hands, and he was doing everything he could, so I give him credit. He was a hell of a ball player today. He worked his butt off. I mean, yeah, a couple incomplete passes, but he threw the deep ball really well. He's good on his feet. He got first downs. I mean, he worked for that team. I mean, we knew this team was going to be good. We've seen what they've done through film and what they've done earlier in the season. They put up good numbers. They throw the ball well. Their defense, they have good, skilled players. They're fast. So we knew this was a good ball club, and they played well today, but we just came out on top.
No, and that's what was perfect, because I'll be honest, I was getting a little concerned in the first half, and all it takes sometimes is a couple of missed assignments or running the wrong route, and that can give the other team the edge, and you can lose ball games. And how about your turnovers? You guys were just eating it up on turnovers.
Yeah, man, that was a struggle. It was a real struggle. Like I said, just simple mistakes every single. We were having back-to-back drives, just drop passes. I was making a couple bad throws. Flags. We had like 2 delay of games, and that was just really killing us because we're starting off the drives first and 15, first and 20, and we're having to work from there. And we're getting stuck back behind the line of scrimmage, behind the first down marker, and it was just really tough on us. We turned the ball over a couple times. There's another one, that big guy on the screen pass.
Oh, yeah.
Feet in the air and blocked that ball.
77?
Oh, that guy was massive.
Oh, my goodness. That guy looks like he could play. Doesn't he look like he could play probably in the pros, like right now? I mean, that guy is huge.
He's huge. He's massive. It's ridiculous.
What was I going to say, too? Yeah, there was a lot of sacks, but you know what? There were sacks on both sides. It seems like both sides were experiencing some holes in the line a couple of times. Luckily, neither quarterback got hurt as a result. But then again, let's look at your defense. You guys caused some turnovers too. You had fumble recovery. No, you had 2, I think. I don't have the stats in front of me, but
yes, I believe so. I believe it was 2. I think we had a pick 6 too.
Yes, sir. And so, really, it definitely was, and it sounds like a cliche, but a tale of two halves. Because that first half, it almost looked like you guys were trying to. I remember you talked about it before the bye that you guys were going to try and speed up the tempo, and because that had been a struggle in past games, and I think you guys do you think it was a possibility that you were speeding up the tempo a little bit too much to where...
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because it almost looked like you were no huddle. I mean, you guys were just going, boom, okay, next play. No huddle up, okay, we're going to try this. Obviously, that was one of the things that you went back to the locker room and I think you guys found a perfect way or a perfect speed where everybody's on the same page. And then how about your running game? What are your comments on your runners, and what do you have to say about your backs? And always give love to their names, man.
I just gotta say that first of all, the line blocked extremely well today on the run. They created holes, they created lanes all night long, and made it super easy for our running backs to hit those lanes. And then they did the work after that. Brooks Mutah and Dawood Sadler, they worked hard today. I believe Brooks had 2 touchdowns, David had 1. And they were both working. Brooks was making broken tackles. In the backfield, he's breaking a tackle, and he's going another 10 yards for the first down on 3rd down and long. And he's just working for us. David, when we needed to punch it, he's punching straight through the line. So they both worked really well for us today, and I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy the way that like that last touchdown that pretty much iced it to put 40 points on the board. I mean, it looked like, I think I even saw a stiff arm, and I mean, he just went right through that that defense.
He went right over the top of number 20, I believe, the linebacker. Gotta give him credit. That was a crazy linebacker. He was great. He's making tackles all night long. And David took him one-on-one and went straight through him for the touchdown.
Yeah, it was a thing of beauty. I mean, that's actually one of my favorite highlights. I was like, and then of course. We all do that. Once he sees the cameras on him, you kind of get a little closer to the camera. You want him to know, but that's just, hey, that's part of it. Last but not least, anybody else, receivers you want to give love to? Anything you want to say about the coaching staff?
First, I'm going to give credit out to Coach Romero, our offensive coordinator. I mean, he's been calling great plays all year long. He's been working with us. He's bringing us practice. He's getting us to the practices, getting us working hard, fast. And his calls were spot on tonight. He knew what to do at every moment. And most of those touchdowns were perfectly on him. He knew the play. He said it was going to work. He called it, and sure enough, it worked. I give Jared a lot of credit tonight, Jared Forster. A lot of big plays to get down the field. He had like a 30-yard catch on the front and a screen that he took about 50 yards, and those were huge plays that set us up in the end zone. Absolutely couldn't do it without him. Randy did well in the short routes, ran his routes hard. A couple crucial blocks on run plays to get us a touchdown. He ran a great route in the end zone for my second passing touchdown of the game. He caught it right on the corner. It was a beautiful play. Laid out, toe tap, caught it. I mean, he made it easy for me.
And what are your to wrap it up and in conclusion? I know you guys haven't looked at the film yet and its completion, but from what you know about Orange Glen, what do you think is the without giving away how you're going to play them? What do you think the key is to stopping their offense?
We got to work our D-line. Our D-line's got to work to get back to the backfield. I believe it's Patterson as the running back.
Yep.
We just got to stop him. We stopped him. I think we stopped the game. I think we stopped them from moving the ball. If we stop them, I think we'll be good. We'll be able to move the ball in offense. I know we will. But if we stop the running game, I think we'll be okay. It's
a very winnable game, and you guys keep winning. Just remember, you're making history every game that you guys win. How does that's what I've been meaning to ask you. How does it feel to be making Santana history every game that you play from here on out? I mean, no pressure or anything, but, I mean, that's just got to be amazing in itself.
I believe only 1 or 2 teams have made it to the championship.
Yep.
And none of us, of Santana, I believe 1 or 2.
Yep.
And none of them have come out with a win, and everyone's expecting out of us. They know we can do it. We have the talent. We have the skill. We have the team bonding, the chemistry. We all know we can. We just got to keep working hard. I mean, it feels amazing that we've already got this far. We're 10-1. We've only lost 1 game. And I think if we just keep working, we keep our chemistry high, we keep our practices high tempo and working hard constantly, I think we have a high chance of coming out with that championship. And that's the goal, is just to make it to the stadium. And after that, to win it. And we're going from there.
Well, man, I gotta say, you guys have been oppressive all year long. I'm just glad that I saw 2 of your games this year. They were both blowouts. The other one was against the Mariners that you guys have been handling for a while now, and but to come out to this one, of course, and see you guys making a run, that's definitely impressive. And like I said, running into your dad too, and having that conversation, it's just like for you, it's all surreal. I mean, we're all and for a minute I'm like, who are you? Oh, and then I went, oh, okay, I matched up. I'm like, okay, you look exactly like, okay, never mind. I know whose dad you are. I got it pretty quick. And, yeah, that's how fortunate you, all of us, and your team to be a part of the East County and to be so tightly knit like we are, and how everybody knows everybody. And, I mean, it's just, I think that people are going to start taking us more seriously as far as our East County teams from now on, because I think there's just more and more talent going on to the next level, and I know you're haven't really decided if you're going to go the JC level or if you are just going straight for your university, but whatever you do, just make sure you let us know. But I'm sure you've been getting plenty of letters, and to say that you haven't, that would be incorrect.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'll absolutely keep you updated on that. I'm just going to keep working. I'm going to try and grind out the rest of the season. I'm hoping that if we come out with that championship, maybe that raises some eyebrows and raises some ears. I mean, that would be huge for me. I'm doing everything I can. I have 40 touchdowns on the season, so I'm doing my best to try to get my name out there. And, yeah, I mean, I'll keep you guys updated on that.
No, for sure, man. And your name's out there. Believe me, your name is on everybody's radar for sure. And Ramon and myself are just happy to be a part of the history and to helping get your name out there and getting you to where you really want to be. And hey, if you end up at a community college like Grossmont, hey, there's no shame in that at all, because a lot of greats have come out of there. So it definitely wouldn't be a step down if that's what you chose to do. It's all a matter of whether you want to start also sometimes immediately. So that's what it really comes down to. But for now, we'll go with the Belichick thing, and one game at a time. And now on to Orange Glen, and that is exactly what you guys are going to have your focus on. And I think you guys got all the firepower that you need, and even with a couple of injuries, I think you guys got this one. And then just whatever you do, don't look past this one. Just play this one hard, and then we'll look at it after that one, and hopefully we're having another conversation next week talking about another win and who we're going to play.
I'm planning on it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate every interview you guys have. You guys talk to me all the time, and it's huge for me. I'm getting to talk out there. I'm getting my name out there, and just being able to get the info from you guys every week and just listen to what you guys have to say is awesome, and I really appreciate that.